The Humanitarian Aid Department of the European Commission, DG ECHO, has presented the current state of play regarding its European Voluntary Humanitarian Aid Corps in Budapest. Hungary is holding the EU presidency during the first semester of 2011.
We have been looking into the different existing volunteering schemes. We have been looking into the needs of the sector, which are huge, because there are so many mega crises going on at the same time. So we thought that this corps can really make a difference in bringing more professionalism to the sector and bringing more people into humanitarian aid who will then be able to deal with the different crises in parallel.
DG ECHO has chosen 3 of its main partner organisations in humanitarian aid to run the first 3 pilot projects. They're ready to recruit, select, train and deploy the first 90 European humanitarian volunteers to different countries worldwide to test different options of how this programme could work in the future. Save the Children UK collaborates with the University Network of Humanitarian Assistance, NOHA, and the Institute Bioforce Development from France.
The ideal outcome of this project would be that the culmination of the skills and the workplace experience that they'll receive will make them perfectly suitable to join the humanitarian sector, therefore helping to widen the network of people available to work in the sector.
Myself, as the Chief Executive Officer of NOAA, I have been involved from the very beginning trying to make sure that we can offer something to this project, and what we can offer as NOHA, as a network of 9 universities in Europe, is our experience of more than 15 years running a Master on Humanitarian Studies and having already more than 2,000 graduates.
VSO, Voluntary Service Overseas International, with Pro-Vobis National Volunteer Centre Romania, will focus on developing capacity with local organisations.
Increasingly, the gap between humanitarian work and development work is blurred, and we feel volunteers have a real role to play in that, but they need special training, special preparation, and we want to make sure that we are helping the DG ECHO to shape standards for that.
We deal with a part of developing volunteer management standards and training programs. These will be available for organizations in the field who will host the volunteers that are deployed by this program. And we think this will create a long-lasting resource for the local community that they can also use to develop local volunteering.
The French Red Cross will offer its experience in volunteering and professional humanitarian aid.
The project is a partnership between Red Cross, French Red Cross, Austrian Red Cross, also Bulgarian and German Red Cross. It will start in September of this year. We are seeking about 21 volunteers to be sent abroad on humanitarian operations.
For us, this project is an opportunity from our side to contribute to the European policies in this area, to contribute to the solidarity of Europe, but also for the Red Cross to change its own ways to help people in the poorest areas of the world.
With the Voluntary Corps, the EU wants to enforce humanitarian aid operations and to ensure that these volunteers bring real added value to disaster preparedness and post-disaster recovery projects.
Volunteering, one of the most important challenges of the 21st century. The Europeans, we should coordinate our life and cooperate in the different fields in order to avoid the disasters and to prepare our societies for any disasters and any catastrophes.
Emergency situation is not very easy to work in. It's very demanding. It really requires lots of efforts, energy, resilience, coping capacity. They will be in better positions to respond in any emergency situation. In Europe, you got better child protection system, so those who come from there, they bring that set of skills.
At the same time, the deployment of European humanitarian volunteers should be demand-driven by the local reality and geared towards sustainability.
They need to be based on the local reality, not what the European Union grasp of a situation, but what the local values are, what the local habits are, what the local resources are, build upon that and create a sustainable project. Because a volunteer cannot stay there a lifetime. It's not a lifetime commitment. It will be a year, 2 years, 6 months. So as soon as the volunteer gets out, the volunteer doesn't have to create a need. The volunteer can create a structure that is sustainable and that continues after he or she pulls out.
Markus has joined DG ECHO's team in the European Commission as a new focal point for the Humanitarian Aid Corps.
The EU is the biggest donor in humanitarian aid, so we give a lot of money together with the member states, but very often this is not seen by the people, by the citizens, and I think volunteers can be our best ambassadors of giving a face to volunteering and giving a face to humanitarian aid.
Kristalina Georgieva is the EU Commissioner for International Cooperation, Humanitarian Aid and Crisis Response. She is in charge of the implementation of Humanitarian Corps and believes that the programme holds great potential, also for the visibility of EU activity in humanitarian aid worldwide.
I very strongly believe that the program also will help to build leadership for the world of tomorrow, because when people volunteer, when they engage with their hearts and their minds, that can transform them, and we hear this over and over again from people who have done that.
Based on the experience of the pilot projects and in consultation with the main participants in the field, the European Commission will present in 2012 the final structure of the future Voluntary Humanitarian Aid Corps.